Hello everyone, welcome to probably one of my favorite creepypastas to read, and probably the one that probably might be the longest one I will ever do on this, well, reading wise, because this one actually once scared me when I was younger, and also the fact that it's probably the most one I had most stuff out of it. Let's begin with Slender Man, January 14th, 2010, the original creepypasta. Let's begin. Possibly the most famous creepypasta cat of all time, and certainly the one that crossed the most frequently in the mainstream media. The Slender Man, also known as just Slender, is a character born of a variety of early influences, but itself represents the evolution in uses and development of folklore. Violent real-life events linked to the Slender Man cat increased in infamy and have even led to the more panic, based on the negative influences and dangers that the fictional cat posed to children. If you hadn't looked back, although the autumn day seemed long and the brief auditorium was short, as the sunset began to fade, you and your two friends left the playground behind, struck relentlessly home, knowing that you'd be forced to pick up the games and conversations the next day. The next day that never came, if only you haven't looked back, but you did. Turning just for a moment, you'd glance back towards the tree line and seen the fingers of the branches crawling up towards the sky, and beside them, a figure. At first you thought you must be mistaken, that your eyes in the hazel blur of twilight were playing tricks on you. No. When you looked, he was still there, taller than any man could be, thinner even the willow branch that extended even upwards to trees. He loomed in the distance like the shadow of some horrible dark truth, and you knew instantly that he had looked away, that if he didn't, tear your eyes away from the blank featureless face, and soon the blank would wash over you, become you, and you would walk away slowly but surely, as if pulled by some magnetic force toward him. Though you feared him, though you were scared of his unnatural height, the aching blank whiteness of his face, the arms seemed to stretch towards you, and the slithering tentacles behind. You turned, screwing up your eyes, willing yourself not to look, not to see, not to give in, and to go to him. You screamed to the others, telling them the same thing, not to look back, but as you open your eyes, you too realize they've already looked, and they're already gone. Slender Man appearance, through adaptation and modifications by various authors, means that the Slender Man's appearance can vary, depends on your source, and the most common features usually remain the same. The character is usually depicted as an abnormally tall humanoid, usually wearing a dark suit and a tie, usually sometimes red tie or blue tie or black tie. Slender Man's face is almost completely featureless, often whether white skin or paley grey, though in descriptions this blank face does feature a nihilistic mouth. Slender Man's often said to extend his limbs, practically his arms at will. Either has tentacles protruding just visible from the back, or his tentacles like appendage in place of his arms. The character commonly inhabits liminal spaces such as the entrance to the woods, forests, or areas of abandoned ground, on the outskirts of more popular areas. Although there was a variety of Slender Man stories out there, much of the character's effectiveness comes from the fact that there's no single definite edition of them. The initial post that introduced the character being only fragmented quotes linked to an image rather than the actual story, or complete narrative. Much like his appearance, however, through the details after some elements to seem to remain consistent, such as the character pinged by woods or forest, enticing children away from the parents or friends, never to be seen again. Another common trope is that Slender Man exerts his influence upon his victims, making them perpetrators of crimes or violent actions. The character also is said to cause illnesses, particularly a cough known as the Slender Sickness, and to entice those who encounter them to suicide. The latter features, namely incitement to violence or suicide, become more prominent and commonly associated with the character. Case of art terminating life after real-life events and cases of the suicide were linked to the character. The origins of the myth. Despite some media outlets adding awe of the Slender Man mythos by claiming the figure origins are clear, the character's origins is easily traceable. It's fake. Slender Man in the original film was created by Eric Kunzen under the Lasers Victor Search. Kunzen was responded to a call of civic author posters contributed altered photographs that was a fair basis for new mythos and stories. Buddha's efforts posted on June 10th, 2009 showed two teenagers and children with the familiar figure Slender Man standing in the background. At first glance, the images seem normal. The figure abnormally sized and features ways nose give the picture as eerie and unsettling feeling. As alongside the images Knudsen provided, small snippets without context text support the witness accounts that give hints about the scenes and the type and revelations to humanize figure of the Slender Man. By attaching short snippets of text with his images, Knudsen transformed the lone image into the first ever Slender Man story, albeit in a non-linear and fragment form. Following his initial appearance, Slender Man's character was then picked up by other users, who either fed into their own narratives or wrote short accounts of alleged encounters with the character, sculpting as they do today. With each new detail and new account, posters help building a mythos around the character, and that because of the viral scope and myriad of conflicted details, account did not retain a canon version. This process happened really fast. A day after Knudsen's post, a user named LeechCode5 posted a photo with a backstory featuring Slender Man. A June 14th username, Trench Moore, used Slender Man in his own story. A user known as Fur posted a story about a figure in Germany who stalked children on the edge of the forest, providing an invented historic reference point of his character. On June 20th of the same year, Slender became the subject of a YouTube series based upon an early Something Awful post by user Troy Wagner. A series of alleged detailed interactions or discoveries about Slender Man while working on a film project named Marble Hornets. The series of videos were supported by Twitter feed. The second channel allowed the character to move from text, image, and form-based phenomenon to being an arc, with the character being referred to, discussed, and modified across a number of different platforms, moderates ever-growing number of contributors. Slender Man, the old creepypasta. After waking up Joel, the girl lay in her bed for a second longer, reached a switch on her bedside lamp. She tried to remember exactly what stole her sweet slumber away. When she couldn't, the brunette swung her legs over the side of the bed and heaved herself up. Checking the time on her phone, she snored when she saw it was midnight, which was the witching hour. Knowing that sleep would only invade her, she left her bedroom for the kitchen, a good cup of coffee on her mind. As she passed by her front door, a chill spread like liquid fired down her spine. It's only winter, she told herself, focused again on the coffee plan, measuring out scooped water, preparing her cup, and kept her cup occupied. But as the dark liquid boiled, she had nothing left to keep her mind from wandering off. The chill returned, but she couldn't help but glance behind her to the front door. It stood there, innocently enough, just like always. The dead bolt was still in place. She could see nothing amiss with it. Turning back to her coffee, she did her best to forget the feeling. With the cup in her hand, she started back towards her room. As she walked past the front door, she decided to give a quick glance at the peephole, which would calm her relentless mind. The chill worsened with each step she took towards the door, further away from the safe warmth of her blankets. She pressed her hand against the cold metallic door and took a deep breath before leaning her eye to the peephole. At first, she could only see an inky blackness somehow seemed to swirl inside itself. When she blinked in surprise, the void melted. She was shattered. In his place stood there what she only guessed was a man. Limbs were long and inhumanly awkward, with bulky joints branching off into several arms, not like the branches of a tree. The creature draped in black suit, somehow making the thing more nightmarish to her. The icing on the privileged cake, however, was that, as the hellish thing's face, it was though her mind blurred the ghastly visage to spare itself her shock and horror. She shoved herself away from the door, and the hands still pressed against it. The scalding mug of coffee fell, liquid burning her bare legs as she fell back, trying to crawl away from the door. She knew, somehow, that her mind hadn't been playing tricks on her. As she grabbed to walk away from the door, she watched his tendrils as black as the void, as she saw Snake through the crack. The girl was trapped between the instinct to flee and the gut feeling to not turn her back on the door. When the door jolted, the urge to flee overcame her, and she slipped in the burning liquid as she tried to swing her way back to her room. She knew deep down she was trapping herself in the corner, but she had to get away from the door. The girl was halfway through the hallway when she heard the previous locked door creak open. She screamed and slipped into a wall, cracking her chin on it, and suddenly, after that, there was only blackness. Nicole, a warm male voice snapped, woman out of her trance. As she turned around, she was met by one of her sister's doctors. She nodded. She's not sure if she said anything, or even if she could avoid voice if she did not mean to say. That morning, she had got an urgent phone call from the hospital saying her sister, Lindsay, was there. Before they had even let see her, the doctors had pulled her off to the side and insisted they talk about what might have happened. Phrases like self-inflicted and assault had been thrown around, and Nicole left out her mind reel. She still hadn't fully saw what they'd been saying until she saw Lindsay with her own eyes. Her little sister had a bandage around her head, covering both her ears as well as her eyes. She said it was to keep her now dreaded eyes from drying out and try to keep the infection out of the wounds. Lindsay made her way to the ears. Doctors had guessed that she was either her or someone had jammed a pencil right into them to keep her off balance or to deafen herself against something. It was a mix of first and second degree burns on her hands, legs, and feet. It was assumed to be the coffee her neighbors found slipped over the store entry of her apartment. As Nicole walked into her sister's hospital room the first time, she thought she spied the silhouette of a man in the window that she knew was impossible. Her sister's room was on the third story of the hospital. Much of the fascination of Slender Man is rooted in the overall mystery that he's wrapped in the fact that he kills children almost exclusively. It is difficult to say how whenever his only objective is slaughter. Often the times it's a report that he can only be found in the section of words, and these generally tend to be sermons. He's also been repeatedly seen with large groups of children, as many photographs portray. It's commonly thought that he resides in the woods and pours of prey on children. He seems unconcerned with being exposed in daylight or capturing photos. It's often thought that he enjoys stalking people, become overly paranoid about his existence, purposely giving them glimpse of himself in order to further frighten them for this reason. It seems that Slender Man very much enjoys psychologically torturing his victims. He's often to appear float or drift around and walk, which suggests the possibility of being an ethereal rather than a creature of a man. This will explain why he's able to remain mobile in spite of his poorly portioned body. Even though Slender Man was evaluated on the something other forms, or was he? Some people have already claimed science. He's mostly at night, peering to the open windows, and walks out in the front of the lone most shores of the scheduled roads, or secluded roads. His main attention appears to kidnap children, as then he's seen with them in photographs. They usually disappear shortly after. The Slender Man also inspired many stories such as those of marble hornets. In the end, his purpose remains unknown. An interesting take on the Slender Man by a past member who's laying the marble tears via the attacks. There's a misconception about my pal, the Slender Man, due to his appearance of the article. He does not have hair or face, and everything else is correct. There's also some questioning as to whenever more than one, I find it unlikely. It's mostly Slender Man just fucking with your head, in order to think that there may be more than one, which has been known to do so. As of now, Slender Man has 3 or 4 known accomplices. There's the Hoodie, Masky, the Rake, and possibly the Observer. Because the next episode of Noah's Maxwell arc has not been released in the Marble Hornet arc, Hoodie and Masky are possibly his followers in the Every Man hybrid arc. The Rake seems to be working them as well, but we aren't sure if this is true or not. Slender Man historical references. Brazilian cave paintings. The usual argument reference to legend is within the caveman fountain in Sandia Capira Natural Park in the northeast of Brazil, which are believed to date back as far as 9000 BC. The paintings show a trainedly elongated character leading children by hand, but make no reference to the extra appendages. Also known possibly reference, Slender Man comes from 3100 BC in Lower Egypt, the reference to the Thief of Gods, or the Thief of Ku, becoming commonplace during the reign of Pharaoh Wenzer. Hydraulic carvings and represent the thief that was found in Pharaoh tombs. There was rumored to have some kind of encounter with the entity. Carvings represent a strange figure with multiple limbs and one that never been found in any hieroglyph language, the German woodcuts. Renowned German woodcutter Hans Freckenberg created at least 2 woodcuts featuring the cat as he started at the Generator of the Night during the mid-16th century. These was discovered during the Hautsburg Castle in 1883, while Freckenberg was well known for his description of humanity and autonomy, something that was usually among woodcuts of the time. This picture featured a skeletal, multiple-limbed character. Historians are unsure of the exact symbolic nature of the character, with some claim that it was personification of religion wars that raged in Europe at the time, while others say it represents the mystery plague that has been believed to be the reason for the mystery banning of the Hasselberg Castle and the nearby village in 1543. However, many insist that Freckenberg would attempt to represent the Gropperman, the tall man, according to the legend. He was a fairy who lived in the Black Forest. Bad children who crept in the forest at night would be relentlessly chased by the Dakengur, who would leave them alone until either catched all them or were forced to tell their parents of their wrongdoings. Even then, there's a child counted from an old journal dating back to 1702. My children, my laws, he's gone. Taken from his bed. Only thing we found was a strip of black clothing. It felt like cotton, but softer, thicker. Lars came to my bedroom yesterday, screaming at the top of his lungs that the angel was outside. I asked him what he was talking about. He told me some nonsense tale about Dirk Rubber. He said that he went to the Groves by village and found one of our crows dead, hanging from a tree. I thought nothing of it at first, but now he's gone. We must find Lars. My family must leave before we're killed. I'm sorry, my son, I should have listened. May God forgive me. There's also a Romanian fairy tale which tells the legend of the tall man. Featuring description may have taken reference to the Slender Man. The tall man stood in the clearing, dressed as a noble man, all in black, shadows lay over him. Dark as cloudy midnight, he may have many arms, long as boneless as snakes, sharp as swords, and they river like worms on nails. He did not speak, but he made intention to know. In the fairy tale, the tall man caused a mother to kill her husband and child before slid from the fireplace and clenched her in the burning embrace. There is also an English myth referring to the tree man, who said to have a slim body with the appendage that looked like tree branches. He's only known to be seen in woods, and it was used as a story that parents told their kids to thwart bad behavior. There have been a few disappearances of children that have maybe been said to be linked to the tree man. And there's a case of the Slender Man, which Slender Man actually caused a nearly murder of a teenage girl. In May 31st, 2014, 2 12-year-old girls led their friend, who was also 12 at the time, in the Warrior Davis Park in Waukeskin, Wisconsin, where they attempted to murder a sacrifice to the Slender Man, a fictional supernatural being originated in the creepypasta. The target, Elizabeth Linter, suffered 19 stab wounds but survived after being rescued by a cyclist. The perpetrators, Anise and Morgan, say they're motivated, they believe Slender Man, and they believe that killing Winter would appease him and prove his existence. They were tried on those had seen both found not guilty of reason of sanity and committed to secure psychological facilities. The stabbing generated public debate about the role in their society and its effect on children, and a more panic occurred regarding the Slender Man name. The stabbing inspired a documentary of Beware the Slender Man the movie, and the movie Mercy Black, and several books. In a 2019 interview, Lana said she was recovering from death, and the attack inspired her to pursue a career in medicine. In November 25, Geiser cut off a monitoring on Wesley escaped the group home, only to be arrested in Houston, Illinois, and the next day returned to custody. And now we get to the games. The first Slender Man game came out in 2012 called Slender the 8 Pages, where the objective is, well, you collect 8 pages. This game came out, it was inspired by the tale. Essentially, the gameplay is you're in the dark forest as the creepypasta goes, and you have to play 8 pages and the gameplay is very slow. But as time goes on, your flashlight has limited battery, and there's no way for you to run faster than you are. This game was the first one of its kind, and then this also inspired some other games as well, such as Slender Shadow. Slender Man Shadow is the most well-known one besides the 8 pages due to the fact that it was the first one to introduce more than just one level. It had a collected on maps with unique sounds, different mechanics and different objectives that it collect different things. The maps are Sanctuary, Centaurium, Hospice, Elementary, The Mansion, Claustrophobia, 7th Street, Prison, Carnival, and the Christmas one, Christmas Special. In the following list of tutorials, stated that the following maps that were going to be the pyramid-based map, which eventually removed the list of planned maps, which was only to replace with Hospice. It was claimed that Prison would have been scarier and more difficult than the other previous maps that were released. This turned out to be true, as once you collect the first photo, you have limited amount of time to collect the others before Slender Man will just become more rapid and more violent. In the tips and tricks video by Mark Steen, that said the time limit is said to be 130 seconds. But looking through the game's code, I revealed there wasn't actually a timer instead of a progression value that increases when the player would collect a photo, as well as over time. After the new remake of Slender Man Shadow was released, the downloads of the ROM versions were deleted from the website completely, so you only get the ones we get now. They increased over time. They saw a lot of users in time were actually referenced in the game. It was more darker and more brighter, but when they released the remake, it was not the same. And then there's the one where you could fight back the Slender Man called Slender Woods. Unlike the other Slender Man games, this one actually was the first one to actually have a major story, and centers around a man who experienced agony since his wife left him, and decided to move to a cabin as parents own. His days goes well to buy usual spurn as he gets stalked by the mystery character. The story essentially is like any other Slender Man game, it's just that he's being haunted by the Slender Man. He goes to his house only to find a barricade and trapped outside. His only choice is a room in the forest. He finds a cabin, and in the note within it says that he decided to go to the tunnels to find a way out. After reading this, the man finds a key to the tunnels and decides to go. After checking the place out, finds a note from Cody saying he cannot find a way out. He encountered a being that described to be a tall, suited man without face, long arms. Cody then decides to go to the mansion and believes to have a telephone. After finding a key to the mansion, he makes his way outside the gates only to encounter the Slender Man. Cody then decides to go to Sawmill to find something to kill the Slender Man. He also decides to do the same. When he tries to beat him up, finding a hammer. After signing some work, he opens the front door that needs a key, which is in the destroyed house or the cave. Slender Man, you only see Slender briefly in this game. When he finds again, he shot the leaf the mate of Cody. Smears the blood on the ceiling. He finds a gun and he goes to kill the Slender Man. After shooting a couple of times, he dies, or as we thought, he believed he killed them. When he goes to actually leave, only to counter more than one Slender Man. And his final thoughts: I try to move my arm, there's no feeling. When I look, there's nothing there. Something warm is flowing down my fingers. Pain is flowing all through my back. Life is flowing throughout my body. Pain is flowing out through my blood. The ground is red, moist, without lying. God in heaven, teach me how to die. Slender Man Woods was considered to be made to be the first Slender Man game that contained a proper story and gameplay that was different from most Slender games at the time. When Slender Man is successfully shot by the player, he turns into a puff of smoke or fog. If this is a long game, now we get to The Arrival, the most mainstream game out of all of them. In the Slender Man Arrival game, the timeline Slender Man of the Arrival game starts in the 1800s by a family by the Mathesons. In the 19th century, Rita Murphy, a grandmother now, digs up her mother's old storybook. She remembers the legend of the Slender Man and actively tries to summon and use the old ritual. Frida somehow successes in summoning and now becomes a threat to her entire family. In 1905, Rosemary writes in a diary that sister Patricia is yet to come home and is believed to be adopted by the Slender Man. Her mother said that Patricia likely went out to the search for wildflowers, but Rose knows that's not true, and knows that it was the man or the thing that her grandmother was ranting about. It appears now that Slender Man now watches her and the other kids when they play. Rose believes Slender Man was responsible for her sister's adoption. Shortly after, Walt Malfson is taken by him. Maggie writes in a diary that she thinks Rose and her grandmother are out of their minds for worrying about a strange man. Francisca, the sister of Fiona, writes her sister worrying about her health and missing grandchildren. She also now mentioned that she has no recollection of the Slender Tale when it was one of her mother's old storybooks. Frida eventually gives in to the madness boy called by Slender Man burns down the Matheson house. Frida thinks that Slender Man exists for those who know about him, and so the only way to kill the demon is by burning herself or family alive. Sets on fire and died among the flames, but not all family members died that day. It's revealed that Kate, the protagonist from the 8 Pages game that we later see, is actually a descendant of the Matheson family and is related to Charles Matheson Sr. and Jr. Also during the 1800s, the mining corps negotiated the Oakside part to sell land. 2 years later, the park sells land to the coal mine, who opened a mine on land. These children could have been ghosts of the Slender Man victims. Something more sinister like what happened to Charlie Matheson. An old plant that was once belonged to Matheson and now abandoned. Charles Matheson, the last descendant of the Matheson bloodline, was known to take his wife and son to the old homestead for family picnics. During one of the old picnics, Charlie Matheson Jr. stumbled across some old toys, likely belonged to the old faithful Slender Man. Charlie finally found the storybook that started all the trouble. Because of this, Charlie spent time drawing pictures of Slender Man, slowly more and more becoming obsessed with him. Sometime later, Charles and his wife, Diana, and Charlie are driving themselves on the beach. Charlie then hears a bell, which leads into the woods. By this time, his parents realized something was happening. It was too late. Slender Man has taken Charlie, and the family wasn't the same since. After Charlie disappears, the family began to fall apart. Diana divorced Charles and left. Charles started to lose touch with reality, seemingly convinced that Charlie's ghost was haunting him. Charles soon began to have the authority and visualization of his son. He knows that this madness thing is taunting him and playing with his brain. Charles desperately thinks that he needs to end this, and his sister Frida lights himself and the players ablaze. After putting out the fire, the firemen found Charles' body and suspected he committed arson. Kate and her friend C.R. Carl Ross used to play in the woods as a kid, but one day they encountered with the Slender Man. The event was so traumatic that he blacked out and pretended it never happened. After some time, C.R. discovered a man named Charles Matheson who mysteriously lost his son and had been losing his mind since. C.R. gets interested and wants to find out, visiting Charles a few times to speak with him. Sometimes Charles is attacked by Slender Man, which ends with Charles burning himself alive. The player, or Lauren, finds out the news article that C.R. was probably finding them too, leading him to feel guilty and not be able to help Charles. C.R. then reconnects with Kate by email, shares the thoughts and ideas with her, asking them to help him with an investigation. The pair at the time start working on the mystery of Charles' disappearance, which leads to C.R. going to the Matheson's homestead. He investigates the place and stumbles across the horrifying evidence that points to the mystery character that's haunted the family. Following more evidence of supernatural elements, as well as following him, C.R. comes to the conclusion that there's something terribly wrong with this place. His investigation ends with the old family church where a potential ritual had taken place. The ritual was probably where the Slender Man was summoned. While he was at the church, CR was attacked by Slender Man, as well the proxified form of Charlie. CR escapes the homestead and writes an email to Kate telling about her account of Slender Man as well as her findings. CR believes that Charlie must have seen something that he was never meant to see, leading to his adoption by the Slender. After that, her and Kate start talking for a while. It later seems that Kate called CR and he responds to an email saying how happy he was to be talking with her. She also says that Kate should talk to Lauren and mentions how he's been having hallucinations. Sometime passes before CR contacts Kate again. He states he decided to write her an old-fashioned letter because his phones and the computer are strange. The most important thing here is that Slender Man has started to strengthen his presence around CR. CR then goes to his doctor and explains his hallucination. The doctor tells CR that the night in the woods is probably what caused it, referring to CR and Kate's first encounter with them as kids. Notes that he completely blocked out the traumatic event as a defense mechanism, but it's slowly coming back to him, although very foggy. Sometime later, Kate writes a letter to CR, not knowing how ignoring his hallucination isn't going to work for her anymore. After that, CR lets another letter telling her the doctor wanted to talk to her partly help her. CR also offers to go to Oakside Park, thinking that there's nothing out there in the woods. Kate and him go to the park where they were talking. CR tells her about this crush on her. Kate really acts really badly, which led to the two saying things to each other, as miles will spin up each other in the woods. After they stormed off each other, CR tries to find her way back to Kate, but he falls down a hill, breaks the flashlight. After hearing a scream, most likely Kate accounts Slender Man, CR passes out, waking back up at Kate's house. After reviving back to the house, CR writes another letter to Kate, telling her he wants to see her again, that he's sorry what happened at the park. Kate gets this letter, but still upset. She throws it in the trash can and doesn't respond. Sometime later, Kate gets another letter, although this one's a bit more creepy. CR says that the woods are very beautiful, and Kate should come and see them. Kate gets very worried, and goes to find them, only to be hunted down the Slender Man. At this point, Kate finds herself in Rosewood Park as she's being chased by Slender Man. Slender Kate is then suddenly powerless later. This is where the point arc of the 8 pages begin, where you have collect pages and get chased. She's however successfully collecting all pages, then attacked anyway. Kate is told by Slender Man that he has plans for her, then she passes out. While the house is also to continue being purchased, more and more people showing up. CR starts to get worried about Kate since he hasn't heard from her in a while, so he writes her a letter. CR goes to Kate's home, where Kate was staying, but doesn't find her. After searching through the woods, CR finds Kate passed out with a broken video camera, a bag full of weird drawings. He takes her to the hospital and tries to be sure that everything will be okay. When Kate wakes up, she begins screaming about how he came for her, referring to the Slender Man. CR becomes paranoid and fearful, which would be that Slender Man decided in influence and force, even being in his mind. It's clear that in this crazy state, CR burns his house down, escapes, saying that the house had to go. Later, CR sends a full letter telling her to meet on the streets, gave her lots of things to bring, including gasoline canisters and matches. CR unable to contain his anxiety any longer, starts writing the following. I'm sorry for everything, this isn't your fault, but it's only this is too late. Don't let him into more life, this is my fault, this has to end with me, why did I let him in? I'm sorry for placing in this burning area, I wish it was on me, this can't go any further, I wish there's more other things to go, and I'd forgive me. This is the words imply that Slender behaves like disease, spreading the sickness and its influence to people that know about him or someone who is being haunted by him. CR feels guilty for getting Kay involved with this and knows that he has to end it. It also implies that Slender Man gets stronger with more people that know about him. Kay and CR eventually go to the very tired Oakside, the safe house that CR talked about in his few of his letters. CR reveals out that the Mathesons, they had to kill themselves before they give us Slender Man's influence. CR explains that it's some kind of cleansing ritual that can help weaken Slender Man's control over his victims. Kate freaks out and runs away, leaving CR behind. After Kate leaves, CR burns himself on fire, freeing himself from the Slender Man role. Kate goes home and spreads her times drawing a scribbling on Slender Man, and only making him more stronger, as well as strengthening his influence on her. One night, she feels Slender Man's presence and begins running around the house, closing doors and windows to keep him out. This fails, however, as Slender Man appears in the bedroom. Kate freaks out, breaking the window, running into the woods. Kate leaves notes for Lauren, who arrives a few minutes after Kate runs off. In her despair, Kate leaves 8 pages kind of outside part that Lauren has to collect. However, at the end of the game, Lauren is attacked by Kate's proxy form and presumably killed. The final of the game shows Kate's body being dragged away. And we got some of the diary notes. 1903, Rose. We're going to the cellar tonight for another game of hide and seek. Father will return from his errand to Red Deer till this morning. Norm says he found a lantern to retailers there after dark. If it was a week by the chapel tonight's dinner, I know you hate the Phoenix smell petrol down there, but it'll be fun, I'll promise. Maggie. P.S. Don't tell Patty, she'll tell on us. Dear Dear's diary, Patricia still hasn't come home yet. Mother insisted she ran off to search for wildflowers again, but I know that's not true. It was that man. That thing Grandma keeps ranting on about. I don't think she's mad. I try to see my man myself. He watches each time we play. Patty went to him. I just know it. If only Mother would listen. I wonder when she'll come home. The search of Patricia seemed foolish. Maggie has hope it will be found, but it was more or less the same as maybe tomorrow. Father's making us crazy again tonight. It'll do no good. It's awesome. If anything. I bet anything Harry will run away from this miserable place. I don't blame her one bit. Grandmother and Rosa says there's some batty tale that's some strange man talking away. Am I the only one who keeps her wits around here? Maybe I should run away too. Dearest Fredia, though my heart still pains for your mischief, I fear your health, my sweet sister. You mustn't worry your mind about this twisted tales of youth. He knows as well as I, they were merely tales to keep us in good behavior. If only Mother knew what the silly legends would do to you. Though I have no recollection of the one that you mentioned. Was it from Mother's book that she talked with you? I wish I was with you now, but in your time of need, rather than whittling my days away alone. I wish all well, in measured way may my thoughts and prayers reach you. I seek only salvation for myself and my family from the demon I sent to torment my life. I've brought the devil's wrath upon my family. I did this. I went searching for this demon. I brought him into our lives and invoked his revival. How could I do something so blind, massively such evil? Why can't I let these legends die alone? I alone should bear this burden. Why must my grandchildren suffer my imprudence? They will never come home. I wrote all of this demon for good. No one should ever convert this evil again. It dies with us. May the fire cleanse our souls and burn our sins. Charles writes himself. 2001, obviously Charlie gets taken away. And this is where Charles writes his episodes. What's wrong with this place? Why did this happen to us? No one answers. Where do I look? Am I crazy? Those things I see at night, I don't know what to think. But ever since Charlie disappeared and Diana left, I must have hit a breaking point. I still keep looking. I still hear him sometimes, that cute little laugh, but he's been gone, like 9 years. Why does every day have to hurt so much? I still see him, I still look for him, I can't be him though. I know I can, but it's so real. Everywhere I go, I hear his voice, but it sounds like he's suffering like that son I knew. I can't escape his torment. This madness thing, he taunts me, eats at my mind. Am I doing this to myself? Was it my fault Charlie disappeared? Is it my trial? Is it my punishment? I need to end this. I need to cleanse this place. No more suffering. No one deserves this. It will end here. It needs to go. This guy keeps coming to my place. I mean about my son. I keep telling him away, but he gets more and more desperate. I see people everywhere. Remind me of the man I could have become. They understand the rules so well. Too well a game. Never taught me. Every time you can't process. I thought I knew the rules, but it was only a lie. You can't. You see everybody whistling like it's so easy. No one tells you. No one tells me. No one cares about my game. I'm alone in this forsaken nightmare. I do not belong in. I need to log off. I need to get out of it. I need to rest. I need tranquility. I need to feel like I belong to it. I'm sorry, but not for this, because I don't own this damn world or anything. I can't forgive life. So goodbye. Go look at your own game. Oakhide by Vel pale blaze above Oakside home, arson the suspended Oakside fire crew stays a blaze of fire. The southeast home resulted in one death, maybe it was of arson. The fire broke out in the home, located just outside Oakside Lake at 11:30 p.m. The neighbors who knew the man living there, he never really acted the same. He would claim to see his son stand outside his window, said outside his window starting in. A neighbor who knew the man for 20 years always said that Charles Mavson's voice started on dire smoke haze and his body was found inside, in the basement of his home, shortly after the crew put out the blaze. Now that's the lore and pretty much facts we know about the Slender Man. Now we get to, let's say, experiences and what I've saw on YouTube explain about Slender Man. As a kid, I lived near forests most of my life. This is true. And when I first saw Slender Man in 2011, I was actually terrified of Slender Man because it did look believable. And what did happen was at the time that YouTubers like Games Revenge UK with his videos, they looked believable and looked very real to me. I was terrified of the forest because I thought if I go out there, he might be there. As I got older, I realized that's kind of stupid, but then again, as a kid, your imagination and fear is more higher than it is as an adult. It's more fact that it looked believable. Because Games Event UK was doing YouTubers he was doing videos 14 years ago. Yeah, probably 14 years ago, Games Event UK was doing those videos, and I watched them because I thought, Slender Man sounds cool, what's this? And it looked very terrifying at the time. And obviously the games didn't help as well. I used to be terrified of playing 8 pages because how dark it was. When I play a rival, I felt kind of happy playing a rival because to me it wasn't as scary as 8 pages. I think is what doesn't help is with 8 pages you kind of know he's there. But not if a rival, he's there as obviously he only goes after you after some time. 8 pages he's just aggressive and you get people more aggressive to get pages. Survival he's just high. He only gets aggressive. Actually on hardcore mode he's aggressive. But in easy and normal he's just yo, just get the pages, and once I get you just have to continue the story. Because Slender Man, it was something. I think what doesn't help is that there was a lot of videos at the time, 13, 14 years ago, that looked real, that looked legit. And further, this is before the day of AI and before of anything that looked not creepy looking and looked real. Sure, looking back now, you tell it's fake, but then no one knew. And that's kind of what I think makes it one of my favorite creepypastas and my favorite legends is the fact that maybe he's real, maybe he's not. Unfortunately, Games Event UK hasn't posted anything in nearly 3 years, and the fact that he doesn't really, there's nothing really else to it. And also because what else can you really do to change, add more to it? Obviously people say the whole rake stuff. The rake to me feels like it's Slender Man, but he's just more like an animal than he is like a creepy looking entity. In my opinion, the rake's not scary, he just looks not as good look. It's a cool creepypasta. I've read the rake. It's a very good one. The only issue with the rake was the fact that it feels kind of bland. Oh, he knows you're there, homie. I'm pretty sure what makes Slender Man creepy because it's the fact that it's always said he targets children, but then in the games he targets adults. But we don't really know who he attacks. He could be attacking you, or you. Or he'd be attacking anyone like dogs, animals. Also, we don't know what he does with animals. It might just be humans. But it doesn't attack a certain age group. He won't attack kids. In most cases, he actually just takes the kids. He doesn't harm them. He just turns them into one of his, proxies, as the games do. Or turns them into one of his servants. Not servants, more like you become essentially one of him, and he will control you. Obviously, as a kid, you'll think, oh, he's a cool dude, and imagination. As an adult, you realize, oh, heck no. And that's what makes Slender Man, in my opinion, one of my favorite things to like talking about. It was creepy. It really was. As you're older, it's kind of stupid looking. That goofy dude in a suit ain't nothing. Like, I think that's just what it was, because it was kind of dookie. It was kind of bad. I think that's just what makes it, to me, cool. And the fact that, I don't know, I think also what makes it creepy is the fact that the real life stabbing case is what makes it fucked up. That it could be, it's also because obviously it's a mythos. And the fact that we won't know, it's obviously fake, because I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot of videos, there'll be a lot more stuff about it. But, hey, that's kind of how it is. Like, the stabbing case actually got old pretty recently. And about, like, a couple of months ago, like 3 months ago, is one of the other murderers, like stabbers, got captured after fleeing custody in Illinois. Which, that's like 10 years ago now. Like 11 years ago. No, 12 years ago actually, no. And yeah, it's crazy. But hey, that's kind of what Slender Man is now, and you know, if Slender Man hasn't really gone on a game or anything major in years, because, well, the people who do Rival, they're making us a new game apparently, and Slender Man will get a new major game probably for a while now, for years, because what the heck would Slender Man even add? You've pretty much done everything. Slender Man Words, I say, is the best game, because I say if you like fighting, you can play Words, but if you want the story of Rivals, you just want more maps than just the stupid forest and play Shadows, because 8 pages and the Slender Rival are just the same game. It's just that 8 pages is on a very old Unity, so it's like limited. It's like dookie to play. But yeah, this is my creepypasta summary. This might be the longest one I've done, only because Slender Man's something I just really like talking about. He is probably one of my favorite ones. I like him more than Jeff the Killer, because Jeff the Killer sucks. The Rake's dookie. The dude in the goofy blue mask thing, I don't even know his name no more, he's dookie. But that's what makes it good for me. And that's just what makes it cool. Yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.